Every now and again, you hear about a new anime being released and all of the excitement buzzing around it. This may be a series that you've never heard of, or one that you may have seen here and there, but were really never compelled to pick up the manga yourself. Or maybe you just aren't a fan of manga in general, and that's fair. With the loud and explosive excitement for the release of the Dandadan anime, why are people so ready for Dandadan to air? Personally, I can only tell you from my perspective, but yes, I too am impatiently waiting for its release. To clarify, yes, this is a spoiler-free video that will only cover the basic details that can be found in the first chapter while alluding to the greatness of this series. Dandadan's author, Yukinobu Tatsu, has found a perfect way to blend sci-fi and supernatural in a way that could simply be called satisfying. There's enough of both to satisfy fans of both genres, all packed within one shonen series. What is Dandadan actually about, though? We follow our main characters Okuran and Momo Ayase on their wild journey through multiple could-be world-ending journeys. Okuran is a supernatural denier and alien enjoyer, while Momo is an alien denier and supernatural believer. Their paths happen to cross as their beliefs are both proven real while their denial is burned in a dumpster. This begins Okurun and Momo's budding relationship that only expands into each character that joins their party as the story goes on. This story has so much going for it that it's honestly hard to narrow down to one singular reason why it's so well received. There is one thing that happens to make it stand out compared to most battle shonen that you see, but I'll save that for last. First up, the art. Holy crap, the art in Dandadan is phenomenal, and based on the trailers, it looks like the studio behind the Dandadan anime, Science Saru, is nearly perfectly bringing the manga to life. If you're not familiar with Science Saru, they brought us series such as Devilman Crybaby in 2018, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off in 2023, and more importantly, do you remember that clip that most people who reference great animation talk about? You know, the ping pong one? Yeah, Science Saru was behind Ping Pong the animation way back in 2014. With that being said, there's definitely a lot of hype being built up on just that aspect alone. As a side note, yes, I know the first episodes were released in theater already. I, unfortunately, was not able to partake in that, and I'm still slamming my head against the wall for missing that experience. Yukinobu Tatsu has this fantastic way of showing horror that doesn't come off whimsical even for the tone of this series. It's almost like, what if Junji Ito made a comedy series? And yes, my god, Dandadan may be a battle shonen, but its comedy hits like a truck. Perfect build-up, perfectly placed, and never misses. I don't think there's a single joke in Dandadan I haven't laughed at. I don't care. I'm still a child at heart. Testicle jokes are hilarious. At this point, you may be asking, but Traffy, you've talked about the art and the comedy and the studio behind the anime, but you keep calling it a battle shonen. How are the fights? The fights are a spectacle. Like, absolute joy to the eyes, and the art definitely helps to enhance that. It's like, have you ever wanted to see a xenomorph fight an extremely fast ghost grandma? Because Dandadan has that. Kind of. The fights in the series are legitimately balls to the wall. No pun intended. A lot of big and highly detailed spreads, specifically in regards to the manga, that I believe are going to transition beautifully into the anime. The power system has no rules, but it's understandable. I'm not even sure how one could possibly create a detailed and structured power system when you have aliens fighting supernatural beings, but regardless, it all just makes sense. That, however, leads us into the story. As I said though, no spoilers. Yukinobu Tatsu's writing in Dandadan is just, how to explain this? A peanut butter and jelly sandwich with extra jelly. Sorry to all of the weirdos who like extra peanut butter on their PB&Js, you simply wouldn't understand. But, to put it simply, it hits different. The characters are all fully fleshed out with their own arcs. There's a gradual but very detailed progression of the story that never feels too slow or too far away from the next big event, but just enough to linger on the characters for us to get to know them better. You even come to love someone who would be considered the main villain at the beginning of the series. Everything just comes together so well to make this an exceptional story, but I think the part that I enjoy the most about Dandadan is the relationship between our main characters. This is the first battle shonen that I've read where romance feels like a well-integrated part of the series and not something that the fans have to create themselves. It's something that is built up and given the attention that it deserves, and it makes the highs and lows between these characters feel so real. You'll absolutely understand once you start this series, and I highly doubt you'll disagree. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you do though. We can have a mutually respectful conversation on that. You know how most series kind of edge you on relationships in their story? Like, to an absolutely insane extent that you just feel like you're being played with and there's no enjoyment to it? Yukinobu doesn't do that. It's just right. It's being edged to perfection. Like, just enough that it's still enjoyable without the frustration. I do want to make a statement, even with that well thought out explanation, that's not my thing. Not kink shaming or anything though. But yeah, Dandadan is peak, and there's so many reasons to watch this anime or even pick up the manga if you've been looking for something to watch or read. If you ask someone else their favorite part, I'm sure it'd probably be different from mine, and that's fine. That's what makes this series so enjoyable for a lot of different people. So give it a try. I promise you won't regret it. And on that note, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. Also, in the description, there is a link to a podcast that I'm a part of with Yato, Nox, and the Greek Weeb. We cover about 9 series each week, including Dandadan. Otherwise, peace.